Good evening, everybody. We will start the session by 7 p.m. sharp. Dr. Sunil Job has also joined us. We will start by 7. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for registering and attending this 7-day online faculty development program on outcome-based education OBE, which is being organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQSC of Nirmala College, Muvattupuzha. This is in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, KSHEC. We would like to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Sunil Job 𝐬𝐽, who is the Adjunct Faculty, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous. And also, we would like to welcome all the FTP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all faculty members. About this FTP, this is a 7-day program with live sessions at the same timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is actually our 3rd day of the FTP. And if you were not able to attend any of the live sessions, the recordings are available in the LMS for the paid participants. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and also the participation certificate. If any of you are yet to make the payment, please make the payment of amount ₹300 to Nirmala College. To the account details, I will shortly put in the chat. LMS has hands-on activities which are to be completed along with the FTP. My name is 𝐬𝐧𝐞. I'm working as the Global Relations Manager for IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, today's session will be taken by Dr. Sunil Job 𝐬𝐽, who is the Adjunct Faculty, Marian College, Kuttikkanam. His topic that he will be delivering will be Introduction to OBE, Architecture of OBE, and Outcomes. A small introduction about Dr. Sunil Job 𝐬𝐽. Dr. Sunil Job has 30+ years of experience in teaching and 10+ years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been the associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Marian College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCET for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. Currently, he is serving as adjunct professor, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
Can you hear me? Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello? Could you please put in in chat whether I am audible.
So you're audible, but its volume is a bit low.
Okay, okay. How is it now? Is it okay?
Not much, sir. Can you increase it further?
How is this? Okay, okay. How is it now?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, so okay. Now, good evening. I think all of you are quite relaxed after a very good day. So now we are moving on to our third day of our faculty development program. So we have already 4 more days to go ahead. And in the last day, we have just given a very, that is, we try to demystify the concept on what we could say that Bloom's taxonomy. Actually, in the previous day, totally we have been dedicating it to Bloom's taxonomy because the Bloom's taxonomy, as we know, that it is that important when you come to the frame of reference of outcome-based education. And obviously, I'm very happy to that is note that most of you are much active in the LMS, and those who have availed the LMS access, I think there are still more of that members to visit, the participants to visit the LMS. So definitely, you should not miss that opportunity. If you have availed that LMS access, make it as a point that you make the maximum utilization of the LMS, because the real life of this OB, the hands-on activity, because here we are only hearing and only we are interacting or with after the section for a very short period of time. So there in LMS you can interact with your peer teams. That is, you can collaborate with your ideas as well as experiences there in the forum, as well as we have got quite a big collection of resources related to the LMS as well as activity. And just at this point of time, I would like to mention, I think some of you have submitted that yesterday's task, and I would like to bring to your notice that yesterday's task, we have been discussing about Bloom's taxonomy, and the task that I've given for yesterday is question paper analysis. So when we say question paper analysis, when you just check the levels of Bloom's taxonomy, you are analyzing a previous year question paper in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy, and you are trying to identify which level each question from your question paper could be pointed. So that is really an analytical level of learning at the Bloom's taxonomical scale. But that task do not stop at an analytical level. And after that, I have given you a small space to write about your evaluation, your remark. So it goes even more higher than that. So I didn't mention it in the previous day, because after doing that, and what you have done is that you have scaled an evaluation level of the Bloom's taxonomy for fixing that taxonomical concept in this teaching learning environment for the identification of the question. So really, it was a very beautiful assessment tool, which comes up to the level of an evaluation, which would really demystify the concept of Bloom's taxonomy. And I've told that Bloom's taxonomy is that important in while we go for outcome-based education. So today we are just stepping it into the introductory phase of outcome-based education, because as we know that uh, at the introductory phase, definitely we have to start from the zero level of outcome-based education. So from the zero level right to that the calculation of CUs, an automated prototype engine is being served in this LMS, so that you can have experience a very good journey right from the zero level to a very higher level of outcome based education. So definitely it will be a very good experiences for you. So without much of an additional inputs, let me go into the today's section, that would be introduction to outcome based education. So here we go with this today's section. So I've got few slides to share with you. So let me share my screen first, and I'm just keeping my video stop because the network issues are still there. I'm just closing my video and sharing my screen. So now, as usual, I often ask two questions: whether my screen is visible and my sound is okay. So to confirm whether we are ready to go ahead.
Yes, Sunil sir, your screen is visible, your sound is audible.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Sijan. And there are lot of responses that I could see in chat. That's very fine. Thank you. So let me put it in the this presentation. So let us first check out what we will be serving for tonight. This evening for you in this segment. So obviously, it will be always better to check out that agenda that what we have got for today's section. So before going into details of the agenda as well as the section, today I have got a promise that I will not keep you too long. That is, I will be trying to restrict our formal sections, the formal class, less than 1.5 hours, and then I will be keeping the platform open so that we can have a discussion. Because last day I enjoyed a lot of the questions. When we go with the different question and answers, so we'll be trying to bring clarity into our concepts of outcome-based education, which we are already having. So this is what the agenda speaks. That is, we will be begin with the first uh, what and why of OBE. Obviously, when we have to start with the zero level, we have to check out what and why of OBE. Then we'll be just going with the building blocks of OB. That is definitely the architecture, how an OB implemented institution would look like, and what are the different components that comes in the building block of OB. So that is what we're going to check it out. And those which has been mentioned in the sequence below are the different components that we could find in the building block. That is program educational objective, graduate attributes, then PO and PSOs. Obviously, it is the abbreviation form of program outcomes and program specific outcomes, which could be abbreviated as PO, PSOs. Then we'll be going into the course outcome. And one of the most important thing that this segment, this section brings to you is a small formula for writing a course outcome. That could be helpful for you for writing the outcome. Definitely, you have already written that outcome, and definitely you would have showcased it in your websites. But just giving you a small format for formulation of the outcomes, so that if at any stages that you would wish to revisit your outcomes, definitely you can utilize that particular format for writing outcome. And also it will be good to have an idea on what are the quality check of a good outcome. we have got four things. We have to ensure four things in order to confirm that whether your outcome is a very good outcome or not. So that is also will be a point of discussion of today's section. And obviously, the most important part will be what we have to do as an activity in that LMS. And today's activity is definitely a very good activity in the form of you will be going with the task related to the today's section, as well as you will be just mastering. Obviously, you'll be knowing. You will be just finding out this workshop activity, because today's task has been showcased in the LMS as a workshop activity. So you'll be able to explore the possibility of workshop activity, and which could be integrated into your LMS, because in the scenario of today, we have going with the blended mode of learning. So your former classes should be supplemented with this LMS. And Higher Education Council has conducted a sequence of sections on how to create LMS and how to what is the pedagogy behind that LMS. And I have got the opportunity to associate with them that too. So the workshop activity on which this today's assignment is being presented will be beneficial for you in two ways. One, knowing OB, and the other, knowing that workshop activity and how effective it is. So here we go with today's segment. Why and what of OB? And because I often start my section with this particular slide to showcase what is the importance of OB. So actually, you'll be wondering what this is all about. Actually, this is one of the study which has which has been published in a higher education journal, Enhancing University Education. And what this report focuses is that this is the status of the students who have completed a professional degree program. So what this slide projects is the status of the students who have completed the professional degree program. They have completed. So what can you say about the result? You can just go and look at this this report. What does it says? You can see there is one x-axis going horizontally, right? What does it says? Now I am going to put one question. What can you say about the result of this group? Whether it is a good result, and if it is good result, what is the percentage of pass? You can put it in chat, because I find it, I am always speaking one way. I want something to hear from you also. Since it is not possible to unmute, you can communicate with me in chat. I am looking at the chat. So what can you say about the result? What is the pass percentage? Yeah. Something. Okay. Some responses are coming. Vishwanathan said that it is okay. Okay. So 7%. Not a good result. 84% pass. No practical skills. No, we don't go into a granular level just about the result alone. This is a professional degree program. You can consider, let it be an engineering program. Let it be an engineering program. And obviously, we know that the engineering programs, the students passing out at the first attempt, we could find that the percentage will be considerably low. There will be a lot of supplementary or back papers, which is taxing them when they pass out of the 8th sem. Regarding the result alone, we could say that it is considerably a good result, because 91 percentage, that is 84 plus 7 on the top, 91 percentage of the student has passed the exam. So from the college point of view, the college will boast that we have got a 91 percentage of result. 91 percentage of our student has passed out without any back papers, and we claim that this is a very good result according to the current contemporary engineering scenario. So definitely that is a very good result. But what can you say about their competency or efficiency when they come into a working platform? When they come into a career platform, a working platform, we could find that that is only 7% of the students are job fit. Only 7% of the students are successful in their profession. That is, they are employable without customizing them, without giving any additional training. So this is the fallacy of the educational system. After having completed about 4 years of a professional degree courses, only 7% of the students are capable to perform something which has been connected to the area of study. They are that is only the 7% of students are having practical skill, so that they could be engaged in some of that real-time activity related to the area of study. And rest of the students, we could say that they are confused graduates. This is something which we have which have hit the news headlines in the recent past. That is the CEOs of many big players, many big companies says that only 7 to 8% of the students passing out of the engineering colleges are currently rightly job fit, and the others are not job fit. They have to invest about 6 to 1 year of time for training them to customize them into their workspaces. And after they get ready, sometimes we could find that there is they leave the job and go like that. So after completing a professional courses for 4 years, and still to employ them, they have to give additional 1 or 2 years training to make them compatible to their job environment. So definitely we could say that about only 7% of the students which passes out. This is this is the report of a study, and I think in the upcoming sections, Suresh Nambudiri has got an authentic study, which he will be showcasing the results of the study, which will be more stunning about the scenario that has been happening in the higher education system. So this is not acceptable. This is the fallacy of our educational system, because though they have passed, this 84% plus 7% has passed, and 9% couldn't clear this all the papers within 4 years. That is, without any back papers, they couldn't pass it. So when they are put to a test, we could find that only 7% students are capable of performing. So it is at this point the outcome-based education becomes significant. So outcome-based education, in a broader sense, we could say that it is an attempt to transform this red area into this green area, as well as this blue area into this green area. That is, if you are putting it as a 4-quadrant, we want to transform all the students into this group. That is, they should be able to clear all the academical all the academical inputs which has been necessary for passing that particular course, as well as they should be capable of performing better, in a better way, in their life as well as in their career. So what we could find here, this x-axis, we could consider it as an academical inputs, which we often give importance in the higher education institutions. So outcome-based education is a system which gives that academical priority to the academical inputs, as well as priority to the different competencies. Because if you want to do something related to any particular area, you should have that competency to perform the task. So the outcome-based education is an approach to the education which give importance for the academical inputs, as well as the different competencies, attitudes, which makes them successful to perform well in their career as well as in their life space, as well as in their relationship in the society. So in a very simple term, I would like to say that outcome-based education is an approach to the education which prioritizes both the academical inputs in the higher education institutions, as well as these an additional coordinate which showcases the different competencies, the different skills, the different attitude, as well as the different attitude, the desired attitudes, and the values that a graduate should obtain when they leave the colleges. That also should be assured. So when these two are becoming fully operational, all the students will be able to transform to this particular green area. So that is the significance of outcome-based education. So I would like to put it in this way: outcome-based education is an approach of education which focuses on what the students should know, x-axis, and what they are capable of doing in the y-axis, ensuring both their competencies as well as their academical inputs. That is what outcome-based education focuses on, and the outcome-based education want to ensure that they have been successfully competent in both their scholastic as well as in their competency domain. So that is what outcome-based education focuses. So now putting this thing into a small statement, because when we say about outcome-based education, if you want to put it in a verbal statement, you can just read this: outcome-based education is a model of education that deviates from the traditional focus, because the traditional focus prioritize on the academical inputs, isn't it? The academical inputs. And the second thing the traditional system focuses on, it is an input-based education. That is, whatever the institutions are giving to the students in the form of the infrastructure, the facilities, all these things. The input, the traditional system is input-based system. But outcome-based education is an approach which prioritizes what is that outcome that comes out of the educational institution, whether that outcomes, that is the students which pass out of the educational institutions, are both competent to face the challenges of life as well as the career, as well as they have got academical soundness. So these things has to be ensured. So the outcome-based education is an assurance of learning in this domain of their academical competencies, as well as their subject matter competencies, as well as their competencies with respect to this life and as well as the career. That is what outcome-based education focuses. So making the students demonstrate that what they're capable to know. No, that is what we are more prioritizing for the higher education. That is more higher education in a traditional pattern becomes subject centered. That is, we are focusing on the academical inputs. So both the x-axis as well as the y-axis, which we have shown in the previous slide, what they're capable of doing. That's what outcome-based education focuses. You need to only read that what I've showcased in red. That is that their academical inputs, that should not be diluted. You have to give them sound foundations regarding the content of the subjects, but also you have to ensure that their competencies are also going side by side. That also should be ensured in an outcome-based education. Then only they can become productive members of the society, successful members of the society. And since we are just stepping into the outcome-based education from the zero level, it is worth to just look into the different principles of outcome-based education. One thing is that outcome-based education focuses, there is a clarity of focus. So what does this mean, a clarity of focus? Because in an outcome-based education, we begins from the end. That is, what the students are capable of doing and knowing should be showcased first. And we have to channelize our curricular activities so that the end point is met. So when the end point is made clear and taken at the first level, definitely we have a very clarity on how to transform the students into that particular level. For instance, I will just give you a small example. That is, this is the example which I often give in most of my sections. That is, if you're planning to build a house, obviously, definitely, you're planning to build means you have an objective, or that is, you have a plan to build a house. So definitely, you'll be having some plans in your mind. So obviously, your plans will be in accordance with the size of your pocket. Obviously, if you're trying to build a house of about 40 or 50 lakhs, that is, and you're having about 20 cents of lands, obviously, that is something you are having with you. So what will you do first? What will you do first? That means you will be having your plans and you'll be consulting with an architect, right? So what we'll be telling that I've got 20 cents of land and I want to build a house of about 2,000, 3,000 square feet, and I have a budget of about 40 to 50 lakhs. But I have got some specifications regarding there should be 3-bedroom, there should be so likewise you'll give some your ideas to the architect. So when you are discussing, you are in what level? You are in an objective. That is, you are discussing about your objective. And what will be the final end of that building is not will not be revealed at this point of time, right? Suppose if you are asking that architect that if you are calling, you are asking that architect, you are taking that architect to a particular building, a building of your dream, and you're showing that building to that architect and says that I want to construct a house exactly like this. So you are pointing to a house and saying that you want to build a house exactly like this. So what is that you are giving to the architect? This should be the end point of our construction process. So the end is clear. The end point is clear. So everything is clear. That is, there is no ambiguity regarding the structure. There is no ambiguity regarding the number of rooms. There will be no ambiguity regarding those measurements, etc. So the architect will try to design the construction processes from the end, and he will be presenting you a very beautiful estimate as well as the plan to you, and also give you all the directions about the different steps that you have to go in order to realize that particular house. This is actually outcome-based education. You are pointing out the final structure first, and you are designing everything, and you are actualizing that. That is what outcome-based education says. So what you want the students to be in the final format, the program when they leave that educational institutions, what all things that the students are capable of doing should be showcased first. And we are creating a curriculum in accordance with that particular endpoint, so that we reach that particular endpoint. Just like so, there is a clarity of focus. There is a clarity of focus. There is no elements of ambiguity regarding anything, because the final endpoint is predetermined. So that is the clarity of focus there. Designing down. That is what I've told. Designing down. They have shown this should be the final product. Should look like this. So they are starting the journey from the end point. They are designing down and then creating the curriculum so that the end or the final target or the final outcome is met. And obviously the outcome-based education has got a high expectation of the students, because in the last day of the Bloom's taxonomy, there is a very beautiful remark by Benjamin Bloom that everybody can learn. Everybody can learn, right? That is there is no need for you to think that whether this could be operational. Definitely every person, most of the persons can learn if they are provided with an environment compatible to their level. So they have got a high expectation on the students and expanded opportunities. That is, the teaching learning environment should not be going in a converging manner. You should provide a divergent platforms of experiences to the students, so that they become highly operational in the teaching learning environment, so that their scholastic ability as well as their competencies and skills should be enhanced, because they have to show justice to the taxes that I've shown in the y-axis that I've shown in the previous the introductory slide. So that is what the outcome-based education focuses on. So this will be the architecture of the outcome-based education. So what can you see a house-like pattern? Definitely, the different components related to the outcome-based educations are showcased in the right in the right way. Definitely, you will be familiar with this diagram, building block of outcome-based education. What does it say? Obviously, every institution will have a vision and mission. Definitely, we know that, because especially when we are reaching the NAC visit, we could find that this will be showcased at every important points of our colleges, because the vision and mission is something that will decide the modus of operandi of our institutions. So definitely, every college will be having a vision and mission. So when an institution is if you are going to implement outcome-based education to an institution, what first you have to take into consideration? You have to find out what is the education. This is the only odd man in an outcome-based education format, because this is the only objective here. All the others are program outcomes, program-specific outcomes, course outcomes, and below this there is another layer which I could call it as intended learning outcome, ILO. So likewise, all in the midst of all these outcomes, there is only one objective here. What is this all about? So before going into that, I would like to show two pillars here. One is development. What development? Development of curriculum. That is, when we are formulating the curriculum, you should go from top to down. The arrow is coming from top to down. And there is one pillar here. What is this? It's this is assessment of the this is the attainment. How will you assess the attainment? For assessment of the attainment, you have to go from bottom to top. I'll make it clear. That is, when we are formulating the outcome based education, the first thing that we have to consider is that what should be the educational goal. That is, the goal is future oriented. So what should be the objective of your educational program? That is, what the students are capable of doing in future when they pass out of the educational institutions, at least for the first 4 or 5 years, because after 4 or 5 years their experiences will be leading them ahead. So what are the educational agenda for the first few years after leaving that college? That will constitute one educational objective. So that educational objective should be prepared, should be formulated in consultations with the stakeholders, as well as in the lines of the vision and mission. So that is the first thing that you have to consider. So if you are preparing a curriculum in the lines of outcome-based education, we have to first identify what are the educational goals or objectives that the students should be capable of performing when they are leaving out of the educational institutions. So making this as a point, you have to identify, for the actualization of the educational objectives, what are the different competencies, the attitudes and the skills that you should give to the students when they leave. That will form what program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So program outcomes and program specific outcomes are what? They are the different competencies, the different skills, the different attitudes and the different values that your institution should give to the students. For what? For actualizing the educational goals. So definitely the program outcomes and program specific outcomes should be in lines with the educational objectives. So the program outcomes and program specific outcomes are defined on the basis of the educational these educational goals, so the educational objectives that you prefix first. And this outcome based education is an approach where we have to ensure that these outcomes, that is program outcomes and program specific outcomes, are definitely met when they pass out of that education institutions. That is, what are the takeaways that the student should take away with them in terms of competencies, skills, and attitudes when they pass out of the educational institutions, so that they could be successful in the lines of educational objectives and goals. That are the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. And how will you ensure that? How will you ensure that? It is ensured by the different courses and activities that you give as a part of that particular program. So this is the real tool. So the curriculum is the tool in the hands of the teachers that make them the students that could streamline the students in the lines of program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So definitely the different courses that you include into the program will be in the lines of the program outcomes and the program specific outcomes, and these courses are intended for the actualization of the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So you could now see that from where we have started. First, we identified that educational objectives in lines of vision and mission, as well as in consultation with the stakeholders. And for the attainment of these, in order to make the students actualize that educational goals, we have formulated program outcomes and program specific outcomes from top to down. And from these are attained by including different courses which are in line with these POs and PSOs. So this is coming from top to down. And how will you measure whether these program outcomes and program specific outcomes are met? It is from the different activities that you give as a part of your courses. So on the basis of the activities, you will be calculating the different outcome related to the different courses. And on the basis of this outcome related to different courses, you will be calculating program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So for the assessment, the arrow should go from bottom to top. Obviously, we'll be knowing all these things. So formulation from top to down, designing down, and from assessment from bottom to top. That is, assessment goes from, you are taking the assessment from the different components related to the different courses. That is, you'll be assessing the different activities, the assignments, the seminars, the field trip, the industrial visit, the projects, the portfolios the students create, the examinations, the internal, external examinations. All these assessments will contribute for the calculation of the outcomes with respect to the respective courses, and these outcomes with respect to the respective courses will be taken into consideration for calculating the program level outcomes, which we could say as program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So the assessment will go from bottom to top. So now we just for a small break, I'm just giving you the paradigm shift which has been happening in the higher education scenario, especially in the lines of outcome-based education. So the traditional system, a scholar at a traditional system, it will be like this, and the scholar in the lines of an outcome-based scenario will be like this. What is the difference that you could see in this paradigm shift? You can put it in chat. What is the difference that you could see here? Yeah. Dr. Lakshmi Priya, yeah, there are many responses are coming. They are the present educational system, according to the outcome-based education, want the scholar to be a multitasker. Multitasking ability. What is multitasking ability? You should be an academical. You should be academical sound, because in the previous, in the traditional system, the focus is more on the academic inputs. isn't it? That is what I say in the initial stage, that the result was very good because 91% has passed. Academical inputs is only taken into consideration. And when they go into the real-time environment, working with the employer, if they are not successful, then what is the purpose of giving them a long-term course for about 4 or 5 years? So we want the students to be both academically competent but also multitasking, isn't it? They should have the problem management skills, the ability to handle the different technologies. They should be creative. So likewise, multitasking. And in one of my sections, I will just share you a joke that in one of my sections, when I asked the same question, it was a joke, right? The teachers were, one of the participants, I've told that, sir, in the traditional system, that guy is not having the specs, and now this guy is having a specs. Obviously, though it is he has presented it in the form of a fun. Obviously, he will be tech savvy. He will be using computers systems. So obviously, there is a possibility for using specs. Okay, so that's what a funny response that I got in one of my segment. Okay, that's fine. So this is the educational, that is the outcome-based education focuses. That is, they want the student, the scholars to be multitaskers, competent. That is, both the y-axis and y-axis should go in par, so that they could be effectively fixed into the right position with the right output. So now, actually, in the building block, we have read different blocks there. One, program educational objective, program outcome, program specific outcomes, CEOs, course outcomes, etc. So now the consequent slides will be putting small explanations on what does this mean exactly. So obviously, in the previous slide, I've explained what is program educational objective. You can just read this one. What is program educational objective? This is what you have to identify first while formulation of the OBE. That is, you have to identify what should be the program educational objective. And what is program educational objective? Objective is futuristic, because what the student should be able to do in future when they pass out. So these are the board statement that focuses on what the students are expected, that is objective, expected to attain within the first few years. Why first few years? Because when the students leave the educational institutions, the initial few years, the major influence of the students will be what they have got from the institutions. So what the institution will have a predominant influence on the students, especially in the first few years. But later on, after 10 or 15 years, it is their experiences and their job level performances will be influencing them in the future. So that is why outcome-based education focuses, especially what the students should be capable of doing in the first few years after they leave the college. That's what it has been showcased here. So first few years on completion of the program. So this is estimated using indirect assessments, normally through employer survey, alumni survey, etc. So this is one important thing. How can you ensure a futuristic thing? Because objective is something that the students will be focusing on future. That is why in most of this accreditation process, we are getting, you are forced to get the you have to forced to get the follow-up from the students who have passed out with respect to their professional platforms from their employers. All these things has been there, because we want to ensure what is the quality of the output. That is, whether these educational objectives that you showcased at the initial stages are met could be only understood after 3 or 4 years after the students leave, how well they are getting placed in their social metrics, and what is their opinion of the employer regarding the students, about their performance, about their peers, how they are performing. that is the real mark of the quality of the institutions. That's what is been taken into consideration. So objective is futuristic, and the measurement about these objectives are obtained only after they're passing out. That is why in all these processes we get collect the informations about the students that have passed out, the alumni interactions, and the alumni's status of the alumni are considered important in all these processes, because our education should begin with the program educational objective, what the students are performing in future, and whether they are performing in future are collected only after about 2 or 3 years after they leave. So program educational objectives are something, the core of the outcome-based education, from where the design should begin. And what is okay, then we will be so this is I have just for the purpose of communicating that idea, I have just showcased 2 or 3 three program educational objectives. So you can read this one. So after completing the program, what the students should be able to do in future, that is what is showcased here. The graduates will be able to demonstrate competency and leadership to become a professional, a employee, or even a entrepreneur who are giving employment to the others. So either a professional, employee, or entrepreneur leading to a successful career. So definitely a graduate program, an undergraduate program, postgraduate program should equip the students for a career. That is, they should equip the students for a career, means we want them to, a round peg should be fixed into the round hole, and square peg should be fixed into the square hole. That is, we should be able to fix the students in accordance with their competencies. So that is one important objective that an education institution should prioritize career, especially in the at the higher education scenario, and or pursuing higher education. The undergraduate, they may be going for post graduations, or for even higher studies, for doctoral degree level studies or research or something like that. So the education institution, this is one of the objective. That is, the program should be career oriented, or should prepare them for a higher level of learning. So what is another one? This is a dummy. You have to create one in consultation with the stakeholders and in line with the mission and mission. The other thing that I have showcased here is the students will be able to demonstrate commitment towards what? Preservation of environment and sustainable development of society. Very important thing. Because when they go into the society, they have to live in and with the society. So every student, when they pass out, they should become a productive member of the society, who are accountable to the society. Because the society is something very important, because an individual and the society coexist with a mutual give and take. Because the individual have to serve the society in one way, the society will be serving the individual in 1,000 ways. So he has to be accountable. It is the society that gives him an identity. So he have to be accountable to the society. So creating the value system of accountability and becoming a productive member of the society. And also environment sustainability is something very important, because now we are going with the different slogans of go green, etc. Because we have got a lot of generations yet to come. So we have to leave something for a healthy life ahead. So environment sustainability, that's important value that should be considered in the higher education institutions. So that is one which has been showcased here. Then another important is pursuing a lifelong education. Definitely that is important, because we will not be able to, because if you are just checking out in the technological frontiers, we know that everything is been progressing not in a normal pace, but at an explosive pace, because we will not be able to show success to the career, as well as to the different places that we hold, if you are not updating with the latest development. So we should have the tendency to keep updates. So this is some dummy what I have taken, objectives that I have taken. So now from there, so this is our goal, program educational objectives. So what the institution should give them, if they want to become successful for these particular goals, if they want to actualize these goals, what are the competencies that this education institution should give to the students? What are the takeaways the students should take away from the colleges? So this is something that we could say as graduate attribute. If you are going with a graduation program, graduate attributes are the different competencies, the different skills, and the different attitudes that the students should attain while they leave that college, so that they become successful in the lines of educational objectives. Right? So all these competencies, the graduate attributes, will be in the lines of what? In the lines of what? The educational objectives, which has been showcased at the first phase. So that is why we are pulling out, we are tracing out the different graduate attributes which are successful, which makes the student successful in their career. In their this not career, because the first objectives are related to career. That's why I mentioned in the career. So let me take the first PEO. I have showcased it here. Graduate will be able to demonstrate competencies and leadership to become professional, employee, and entrepreneur, leading to a successful career or a higher education. So if this is our educational objective, in order to become successful in the lines of this, what are the graduate attributes, or what are the competencies that you should ensure in the students? You can write it in the chat. So suppose if you want to prepare them for a career, suppose if it is a marketing career, what are competencies you want to you wish to give to the students? Okay, soft skills should be there, more technical skills should be there. If you want to be a marketing manager, what skill you demand? Okay, communication skills should be there, management skills should be there. So definitely these skills that you showcased are nothing but the graduate attribute that is needed for the successful accomplishment of these POs. So it is from these POs the graduate attribute should evolve. And these graduate attributes, when they are written in the form of an outcome, we can call it as the program level outcome. So now I think you will be clear from where did you get the program level outcome. The program level outcomes evolve by reading the objectives and what are the graduate attributes which is essential for the successful accomplishment of these goals. These attributes we can call it as graduate attribute. And when a graduate attribute, communication skill, when it is been written in the form of an outcome, we can call the same thing as what? Program outcome. Outcome is a verbal statement that showcases what the students are capable of doing, and graduate attribute will be a technical term to refer it. Right? So I think now it is clear. So these are a set of graduate attributes which has been suggested by the UGC. Because for the engineering colleges, we don't have the freedom. They have got a standardized program outcome for all the engineering programs. But for the other arts and science colleges, the UGC has given an option for the institutions to identify the right graduate attributes that could be streamlined to their program educational objectives. And they have, for reference, they have suggested about 10 here. There are 15 outcomes, and this is only a suggestion. You can include more if you have. But once if the UGC showcases that this should be a standardized outcome, then we don't have. But at this point of time, they have given a free hit to take what all objectives. So here, one, disciplinary knowledge, obviously that is something very important. Communication skill, you have showcased it here. Critical thinking, problem solving, analytical reasoning, cooperate, work with a team. So here we have got something related to the knowledge, something related to the skills, then cooperation, teamwork, scientific reasoning, reflective thinking, like that. So we have got a number of things which has been showcased, and we can have something other than this if you need. So it is not important that you take all the 15 or more. You can identify the most relevant thing that is in lines with your program educational objectives. And we have got many participants from the engineering colleges also. For them, they have no choice. They have no choice. That is, the NBA has suggested that all the engineering colleges should go in line with this graduate attribute, and this graduate attribute is been having a global standard, because we are India has signed the Washington, is one of the member who has signed the Washington Accord in 2014, and the members of the Washington Accord, like USA, UK, France, like that, they have got they have signed the treaty that they should adopt outcome-based education, and they should take these set of 12 POs as the standardized program outcomes, and all the engineering program should ensure that this happens. And it is also further said that all the tier 1 engineering colleges, which has been accredited by NBA, the students studying in these colleges can go and continue their studies in these other countries, like USA, UK, the members of the Washington Accord, without any additional requirement, or they can get job without any additional courses or something like that. There is no need for equivalence or transcript or no process like that. So it is giving them an international standard and a global mobility to the students. And they want them to adopt this outcome-based education, because outcome is ensured. So there is a standardization globally with respect to the outcome of the engineering programs. So if you just check out this, just for the sake of this, the first five thing are what technical capabilities, engineering knowledge, problem solving the problem related to the engineering domain, design and development, conduct investigations. All these things are technical knowledge. Then engineer and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual, these are generic. So here we can see a categorization. These are something common, and these are something subject specific. That is why we are dividing these attributes into two. One, generic, which we call it as program outcomes. The outcomes which has been written from generic graduate attributes, we call it as program outcomes. And these outcomes which has been written from the domain specific engineering knowledge, from computer science is different, from instrumentation will be different, from civil will be different. So that is something related to the domain specific, that we call program specific. So that categorization we could see in our colleges. We consider this first level program level outcome as program outcomes. That is the generic competencies and skills which is common to all the programs, whether it is a BCom, whether it is BA English, whether it is a BA language, whether it is science, whether it is BCom. Everyone will be having some common attributes which is needed, like communication skill, teamwork, environment, likewise common. And subject specific would be considered as program specific. So because now I think you got the things clear. So I want to add some of the statements. Some statements regarding this program outcomes and program specific outcomes. We know that it comes just below program educational objectives. These are some of the attributes which we have explored, which we have identified for the successful accomplishment of the program educational objectives. And these could be classified into two. One, it could be program specific, because BCom students will be having some additional competencies related to the subject. Literature students will be having something related to the subject. So what are the outcomes related to the subject will be program specific, and what thing which is common, that is program outcomes. So in our colleges, definitely we will be having program outcomes which is be common to all, and program specific outcomes which is program specific. So I'll be checking out this chat at the end, because in between, if you go, we won't reach anywhere. So after this, I'll be just completing it fast, and I'll be keeping the space open. You can put any questions related to this. We will discuss it and get some good insights from this. So program outcomes and program specific outcomes. What does it mean? There refers to program outcomes. There refers to the knowledge, skill, and aptitude. These are the three pillars of any education institute: knowledge, skill, and aptitude. What is knowledge? That is what we say, the disciplinary knowledge, something related to the subject matter. Skills, and as well as attitudes, because we need ethics, isn't it? That is an attitude. Environment sustainability, attitude towards the environment, attitude towards the society. So so the PO will be in the form of the general attitudes for a comfortable and healthy life. The different skills which is essential for everyone. The communication skills, it is necessary for everyone to interact with the society in the life, in whatever space it may be. Knowledge related to the domain. So this is something related to program specific outcomes. Program outcomes. A program specific outcomes describes what graduate of a specific program will be able to do. So this is something all the graduates commonly which should be able to do, and this is specific able to do. The program outcome should be formulated in discussions with the stakeholders, and should be correlated with PEO. This is what I was telling in the first phase. The PO should be formulated on discussing with the stakeholders, as well as it should be in line with the program educational objective. That is why I've taken the first PEO, and I asked you to identify. You are the stakeholders. If you're the stakeholders, I want to identify what are the something competencies which is you find it is important for the actualization of this. So that is how it has to be explored or identified. You will be wondering what is happening here. This is a scale. So this is the final. What we could say that after completing the course, you will be giving a mark list to the students, right? What is the mark list? That is, what is the scholastic level of attainment with respect to the different subject? In terms of scores will be showcased there, or in terms of grade will be showcased in the mark list. So when we come to an outcome-based education, it do not mean that the mark list will disappear. It will be there as such in its real form. With respect to every subject, what is their grade? What is their mark? It will be there. And in the first slide, I've shown you there is a y-axis also going. Y-axis will be a set of competencies, and that is a set of the competencies. That is what I've been showing you as the graduate attributes like this, isn't it? So there will be an assessment with respect to these competencies. So apart from the marks, you will be having an assessment with respect to these competencies like graduate attribute, PO, disciplinary knowledge, communication skill, critical thinking. What is the level of the students with respect to this? This has to be calculated, PO, calculation of PO. And this is calculated by means of a 4-point scale, which ranges from 0, 1, 2, 3. So the maximum is 3. Isn't it? Maximum is 3. Just like you are, when you go for NAAC accreditation, they are assessing you in a 5-point scale from 0 to 4. And if you're getting, okay, 3.77, you'll be getting A++ like that. So what is that? It is the scale. Just like that, similar to this, corresponding to every PU, you are just giving a score to the student's performance on the basis of the scale. That is what assessment. And all these assessments will be discussed in detail in the upcoming sections, especially Mendes sir will be discussing about the calculation. And also I told that there is a prototype, assessment calculation engine in the LMS. You can also check out the flavor. It's a small thing just to identify how the things are working out. So disciplinary knowledge, 2.3, a communication skill. So if you are implementing the outcome-based education in its full form, without error-free implementation, you will be capable of giving such a sheet to the students together with the mark sheet. But now, at this point of time, we are not giving this because there is some problem with this. I will tell you. So if your OB implementation is error-free, computation is pakka, then if you're confident, you will be able to give it. And if you are able to give it, okay, student number, okay, Sunil job, myself. If I'm getting something like this will be just like an authentic profile that I could take it to the employer. So this has been assessed by 4 years, continuous assessment of 4 years. From the college, they are going around me and evaluating and observing the different activities that are capable of performing, and they have estimated this is my level of competency and giving it to me. That is the best profile that I could give to the employer. Because if you're writing a profile, you will be showcasing your strength there. This is something which has been estimated by a 4 years continuous assessment. So this has got its own value. But this will be something very, very negative to the institution if it is not done in the right way. For instance, suppose if you here, okay, the communication skill is already 1.8. If you are giving it 2.8 out of 3, 2.8. So your student will be taking it for a job vacancy of a marketing manager. Obviously, when the employers see that, okay, this is a 2.8, very good communication skill. This is the person that I am waiting for. So he gives him a placement. And if this guy, if he is not able to write a single communication error-free, what will happen? It won't affect him. It will affect the institution. It will backfire to the institution, and you will be in the blacklist. So whatever these certificates that you give to them, they will just put it in the dustbin because they saw that this is nothing. This is nothing. They are just putting some marks and making a hype. This is not the reality. So if you are giving it like this should be valid, because this is an estimation tool. That is an estimation tool. The most important characteristics of an estimation tool is validity. And what is validity? It should measure what it intends to measure. Suppose if you are going to a grocery shop and purchasing 1 kilo more sugar, you are coming to your home and you are weighing it and you are finding it there is only 600 gram, 400 gram less. Will you ever go to that particular shop? No. And you may go to the consumer court and file a case because cheating has been happening. The same thing can happen if this is not done in the right way. So this is a heat map. Suppose if you are getting a score of 70% and above, out of 3, 70% means 2.1. Okay, you can give a green. Okay, if it is 50% and above, you can give an orange color. If it is below 50%, okay, you can give red. That is the outcome is not properly met. So you can give either a score or you can give a heat map like this. So this could be made only when your institution reach that level of maturation in OBE. Otherwise, just for a record, you could keep as a document that whether the outcomes with respect to all the courses are met could be kept as a documentation. But later, because you have to calculate this, anyhow you have to calculate this, then only you can document this. So if you are confident with this, then you can give it to the student as a takeoff, so that that could be an authentic profile. And now coming to the outcome. Am I going out of time? No. Yes. Okay. I promised 8:30, so we will come. We'll conclude it at 8:30. Course outcome. Obviously, we were talking about PO, PSOs. So these PO and PSOs are some of the graduate attribute that you showcased first. And how will you ensure that? It is ensured by means of different courses that you give to the students as a part of the program. So they are the real curriculum. The curriculum is really the tool by which you equip the students in the lines of POs and PSOs. So what is every that is program will be having, suppose if it is a 6-semester program or 8-semester program, every semester will be having about 5 or 6 courses. And these courses are introduced. Why? Because we want to make the students attain the POs. So all the courses will be having some connection with the different POs that you showcased first. And since it is outcome based, everything you do should be centered around an outcome. Suppose if you are giving an assignment, first thing what you have to take into consideration, what should be the outcome that you should expect from the students after doing this assignment? Outcome first, and then planning that assignment in according with the outcome. So a course. So you are every program is delivered in the form of different courses. So every courses also should be outcome based. So how can you make the courses outcome based? You have to fix the end first. That is, what the students are capable of doing when they complete this course should be showcased first. And that is nothing but the course outcomes. So course outcomes are what? Now you can read this. The resultant knowledge, the students, the resultant the knowledge and skills the students acquire at the end of the course. That is, what the students are capable of knowing and doing at the end of each course should be showcased first. And by the course delivery, you have to ensure that these COs are met, and these COs will be in the lines of the POs that you have prefixed first. So now, writing CO is something very, very, very important. The CO is not just a statement. The CO should have some structure going behind that, because in the further stages of outcome-based education, we have to map every COs with the PO, every activity with the COs. For ensuring that to be rightly done, it should have some structure. So that is what it is showcased here. That is, the COs are major domain-specific outcomes written using, you have to, I have just showcased in red because that's important, written using action verb, which are specific, measurable, and demonstrated by the students on completion of the course. So every CO should have what? An action verb. That action verb will showcase, the action verb will showcase what is the level of learning of the students with respect to that particular course. That is why we have given that much of priority to Bloom's taxonomy. The Bloom's taxonomy will give you the action verb appropriate to the level of learning which that course demands. So that is something very important. That is why we have given that much of priority. So if you are writing COs without action verb, definitely that is not a good way of writing. The action verb will showcase whether you are taking the students to a higher level of learning, whether your course is taking the students to a higher level of learning, whether you are taking the students to an analytical level, or just you are giving them only a conceptual level. Action verb will show, action verb will tell. That's why. So every CO should be written in the form of an action verb. And now this is what I promised, that I'll be giving a formula for writing a CO. This is the formula all about. you can see some unstructured diagram is there. So I think you start reading from the action verb should be selected from Bloom's taxonomy. That is why Bloom's taxonomy, we made a lot of demystification in Bloom's taxonomy. Why? Because that is important. I told you that for formulation of curriculum in lines of OB, you need Bloom's taxonomy. If you want to interact with the students in the right way, you should have an idea of Bloom's taxonomy. If you want to write better questions, assessment questions, you need Bloom's taxonomy. It spans it, right, like anything. That's why.
Sunil sir, the slide presentation has gone off. Could you please bring it back?
Slide presentation is gone.
Yeah, just
Is it
presentation.
is it now okay?
But, uh,
Uh,
Not yet.
Let me check it out. Okay, I think just wait a minute. Okay, there is some issues. It happened just now, right?
Yeah,
Okay, then there is no need to go back further, right? Just wait a minute. I'm just resharing it. So there's some. It is not getting loaded. Just I will just do it once again. Please just please hold on. There is some issues. The slide is not getting shared.
please wait, everyone. Sir is just fixing that issue. He's just resharing his screen again.
Sejin, please make me co-host. I have just logged out and come back.
Okay, yeah, your screen has come back also. No problem.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry for the interruptions. Let me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we were here because this is some issues that may happen in this online sections. That's why I just kept my this video off. There is some connectivity issues can happen. So this is the formula. You can start reading from here. That is here we could see that this the course outcome is a combination of two things: one action verb and one learning statement. That is, the course outcome showcases what the students are capable of doing on completion of that particular. I'm not taking the course as a whole. Let us take that is suppose if you're going to the class for teaching a topic, we can call that outcome related to the topic is what that is learning outcome. That course, that is we can just consider it as a the course outcome is a course level outcome, that is on completion of the particular course. Suppose if you're going for teaching of a particular topic related to the course, there also you have to identify what should be the outcome on completion of that particular topic. That is topic level outcome. So for formulation of a topic level outcome, what is the structure? That is, it should include what? That action verb and that learning statement related to the topic. That is what the students are capable of doing on completion of the topic. So once at the first stage, we can just identify how to write a topic level outcome. And then we can extend that to course level outcome, program level outcome. In the next presentation, in the next section, we will be very clearly showing how to write a program level outcome, how a graduate attribute get developed into a program level outcome as well as a course level outcome. So now here I am just taking from a granular level, basic level. If you're going to go and teach a topic, how to write a topic level outcome. So the topic level outcome should include what? Action verb and the learning statement related to the topic. So here I am just discussing on the topic of optimization technique. That is one of the paper that I handle for a MCA program at Marian College. So here, what is written here? The action verb is appraise. Appraise. I am handling what? The optimization technique, which is related to operational research. So there are different optimization techniques. That is the optimization techniques by which could be done by means of simplex method, which could be done by means of integer programming, dynamic programming, which could be done in terms of transportation methods. Like, well, the different optimization techniques are there. So what should be the final outcome that I expect from the students? What I expect from the students, that is on completion of my topic, what the students should be capable of doing. That is, they should be able to appraise. Appraise means evaluate what? The effectiveness of optimization techniques. I am teaching different optimization techniques. They want to identify, they want to evaluate the effectiveness of the optimization techniques. So that is what the outcome showcases. Where? In the context, in the industry. So I have delimited it to the industry. Suppose if I eliminate that industry, the context, that become very broad. Or if I delimit it to the context of tourism, or delimit it to the context of hospital, or delimit it to the context of e-commerce, or whatever it may be, that become delimited. So an outcome should contain two major things. One, the action verb. Second, what? The topic, optimization technique. That is the learning statement, optimization technique. So what the student should be capable of doing? That is appraise effectiveness of the optimization technique. The outcome is right set. This is an outcome. This is an outcome. And if you want to make it little more delimited, into the level of industry. Okay, in the industry, if we want to further delimit it into the type of industry, okay, tourism industry. I will write tourism industry, the effectiveness, appraise effectiveness of optimization technique in the tourism industry. So this is the final outcome, the learning outcome, that is appraise the effectiveness of optimization technique in the industry. Suppose if I am going to take the basic lesson in about democracy. So how can I write the outcome there? I'm going to teach the democracy. What would I would like to expect the students after completing? What the students should be able of doing? I'm just teaching them the concept. If I say it as the students, what they're capable of doing, explain the basic principles of democracy. If I write it like this, that is the outcome that I expect from my class of about 45 minutes or 1 hour. So I am showcasing that this is the outcome that I expect from this group. Explain. What is explain? That is the verb part. And what is the learning statement? The principles of democracy. So what is the outcome? Explain the principles of democracy. So by reading that outcome, what can you say about that outcome? It is just an understanding level. Explain. So the word explain is taken from Bloom's taxonomy. That word showcases that what is the level to which that I am capable of taking the students. What is the outcome that I expect from the students? That's it. And in a longer sense, I will say that the outcome and the questions that you have created last day will have the same structure. And I would like to say that the outcome is a glorified, a higher end question related to the particular topic, the highest possible question. So ultimately we'll come to that realization. That is why in the first section we were spending more time on working with the questions and how to formulate questions. Because why we are putting questions? Just to evaluate whether they are attained this, whether they are capable of doing that. And that question has been prefixed as an outcome first. Right? That question is being prefixed as an outcome first. So that outcome will be a glorified question. So this is when you learn everything in a broader sense, both a question and outcome will have the same structure. They are in a same format, isn't it? Both of them are governed with identified with Bloom's taxonomy, which make you showcase the level the learning are expected to go. That's it. So now this is a small task that I'm going to give you. You can select a topic that you are teaching. A topic, not a course. Don't write a course outcome. We will be detailing about how to write a course outcome in the next class. There are different way, the longitudinal way of writing, cross-sectional way of writing, everything we will be discussing in the upcoming segment. Now I'm just writing. Suppose if you're going to teach a small topic about Ohm's law, physics, you're going to teach an Ohm's law. What do you expect from the students? What the students are capable of doing after your class? You can write it as an outcome. And according to the previous slide, that outcome should have two things. One what? A action verb from Bloom's taxonomy, and the learning statement clubbed together to make a meaning that what the students are capable of doing after completing. Okay, write it. I will not ask you to put it in the chat. In your LMS, there is a very beautiful virtual wall. I say it is a virtual wall. That is, you can post it there. When you get into the LMS, you can write some outcome related to the topic, and you can just put it there. And that virtual wall is Padlet. We can call it. It is Padlet. It is there in the LMS. So how to put it is, there is a it has been segregated into different columns. Different columns will be having different subjects. Suppose if you are putting an outcome in mathematics, there will be something related to mathematics. You can go to that. You can add it there. The details of how to add will be given as an SOP. that is standard operating procedure is been given, how to handle, how to do the task, everything is been given there. So now you can evaluate your outcome, and first thing you have to read. It is a good practice. You can read this 2 or 3 times. Good practice, not a wrong thing. That is, the outcomes should be measurable and observable. That is one of the important specification that we give for an outcome. That is, these words are these verbs are there in most of the outcomes that I could see in the this portals of the colleges. That do not mean that it is wrong, but it is a good practice to avoid this, because these are generic. Because outcome should be observable. What the students are capable of doing should be pinpointed in writing that outcome, especially at the lower level, because you are directly evaluating only the lower level. If you come to the PO level, you are not directly measuring the PO. You are just pipelining every COs to the POs and estimating PO in terms of the CO level attainment. So when you come to the ground level, topic level, or course level, it is a better practice to avoid these things. Because in that outcome, you should showcase what the students are capable of doing. The student explains. The student illustrates, solves, isn't it? Demonstrate. All these things are something what the students are doing. Clarity. Understand. It is vague. You cannot that do not say what the students are doing. Isn't it? Understand. It is something generic one. It is a midst of cloud is there. You will not be able to do or observe what the students are doing when you understand. So make it little more clarity. Appreciate, or know, or cover, learn, study, comprehend. All these things are what? Vague. That do not mean it is wrong. So when you go to writing outcome, go to little more granular level, select that verbs which showcases what the students are capable of doing. Explains, defines. Okay, if you're just dealing with a conceptual level learning, the students explains. So if you're going to the higher level, compares, designs. You can use the verbs according to the level of the outcomes. So I think you would have corrected what you have written. So just a small comparison. Oh, I'm going out of time. Comparison of the outcomes. It's not a good outcome, a good outcome. What is written here? The student will understand democracy. Okay, the student understand democracy. It do not depict what the students are capable of doing. Read this. Describes. This is the verb. Describes major theories of democracy. So after teaching them, what is my final output I look upon? Students, describe the theories of democracy. This is what the students will be capable of doing. The other, understand. Okay, they may wave their head. Understand. That do not mean effectively, but it is there. Understand the this describe is something which is happening inside the understand. That is broader and vague. We want to make it clear. The students will study about the impact of, evaluate the impact of cultural diversity on nursing care. So that gives what they are doing. They are able to evaluate the impact of cultural diversities on nursing care. So that makes it more clear. So evaluate. It's a higher level. This is the impact of the diversity of nursing care is the topic, isn't it? So you connected it to make a sense on the lines of what the students are capable of doing. The students will learn about the principle of formulation of delivery system. Will learn about. It will be better. They explains the principles of drug formulation and delivery system. They'll be able to explain it. So to learn, it's vague. This makes clarity. So this is a good outcome should have a clarity. That's why we say that the outcome should be observable and measurable. So going to the final stage, we are just going with the the quality check of a good outcome, because in the agenda we found that there is some quality check for a good outcomes. These are the quality check of a good outcome. What are there? Are they written using an action verb to specify definite and observable behavior? Observable behavior, I repeat. Understand is not observable, isn't it? But explains is observable. So likewise, whether it is written in the form of an action verb should be there, which is manifested in definite and observable behavior. The second thing is that, does the language target students' target rather than the teacher's behavior? Because it is just differentiating between objective. Objectives are teacher specific. What the teacher specific, and outcome are what is the impact that the students will be having. It is from the point of view of the students. So whether you are phrasing the statements in terms of what the students are capable of doing from students' point of view, while reading, you'll be able to know it. Then do the outcome clearly describe the ability, knowledge, and value of the students of the course. That is why the outcome should be clubbed with some learning statement. Whether the outcome showcases the respective learning domain or spaces to which it is connected correctly. So that should be showcased there. And finally, is it possible to collect accurate and reliable data for that outcome? Because in an outcome-based education, assessment should go formatively and summatively. What is formatively? While teaching, you will be asking a lot of questions and activities in order to ensure whether your learning is progressing in the right way. That is formative. So, and summative means something that happens after the end semester exam or the topic by the end of the topic. That is whether the topic related outcome is met or the CO is met, like that. So we want to ascertain that, because this teaching should be accompanied by the proper assessment strategies. Always ascertain. So in an outcome-based education, it is a tripolar process. Outcome at the center, designing what the learning experiences in the lines of the outcomes, and assessment of these students in the lines of the outcome. So a constructive alignment often happens in an outcome-based education from the teaching learning environment to that outcome, and assessment from the outcome. So the teaching learning outcome, this assessment should be mapped with the learning experiences, which we call as summative, formative. At the time of teaching learning, that is a triangle which has been going on, the triangular process. It lines with this teaching learning, formative, and in lines with the outcome, that is the summative. So what you have to ensure is that whether you are able to devise some mechanism for assessment of that outcome, whether to ascertain the outcome, whether it is by giving a small test, or whether it is by giving a small activity, or whether it could be assessed by some observational technique or something like that. You should ascertain whether these outcomes are measurable. If all these four things are said, definitely you can say that you can give a 100% score to your outcome. So these are some of the sample outcomes. Something which has been showcased in the red is what? The verb part, action verb. Apply. Okay, what the student should be able to do. You are going to have a class on Hooke's law. Apply what? Law of physics. I will rather say that apply Hooke's law to compute different types of responses in the given material. So Hooke's law, the learning statement correctly phrased, they have to apply. Apply means the third level. By using Hooke's laws, they were able to solve the problems. That's what. Analyze the structural element of different force system to compute the descent parameter. In commerce, it's a fundamental level at the initial stage. What is the outcome of you are going to teach about the organization, the principles of organization. So what the student should be able to do? explain the various principles of organization, conceptual level outcome. So outcome can be conceptual level, higher order, whatever it can be. So always it should be important that if it is possible, I repeat, if it is possible, try to take that outcome to the higher level. So how to take that outcome to the higher level? The verb will able to identify whether the outcome is at a higher level. So before going to my thank you, the task which is there for this will be this one. Here, you can just read this. That is, write the course outcome of the course of your choice. That is, obviously you will be having you will be having a course outcome. Definitely, now at this point of time, definitely every courses will be having 4 or 5 outcomes here. So if you need more columns, you can just keep the cursor here and add one like this. You can add any number of questions, but it is a good practice to restrict the number of outcomes related to a course to about 5 to 7, like that, or 5 to 6. That will be better. So you can write the outcome here. You can write the course title, the program name, the discipline. Okay, whether it is a science discipline, the course title, and the program name. If whether it's a BSc physics, like that, you can write that outcome. And the 4 quality check 1, are they written using action verb? You can check whether you are having a very clear action verb, observable action verb. If it is yes, you can write yes. Does the language describe the student target? Read that outcome, and whether you find that it is giving stresses on what the students are capable of doing. If it is okay, write it yes. Do you have clear described abilities? Whether the outcome showcases the learning statement to which it is connected. If it is yes, and is it possible to collect accurate, reliable? If it is yes. If all the 4 are yes, if all the 4 are yes related to CO1, then you can give that the quality percentage is 100. All the 4. If only 3 is correct, you can give it as 75%. Only 2, 50%. So, so every quality check will add a 25% to the quality of an outcome. If all the 4, 100, and anything less than 100 needs a revisit. So you can just check out your outcomes that you have already prepared respect to any of the course, and you can write that outcome here, and also you can add yes or no. If it is all yes, under here remark 100%, whether needs improvement. If it is 100%, no, and anything less than 100%, it needs an improvement. So this is here. So this is the third section. The third section, this is the SOP. SOP is here. SOP is the standard operating procedure. It's been given here very beautifully. How this have to be done. This has been arranged as a workshop activity. In the workshop activity, there are 2 days will be given for you for submitting. So there is a time restriction, 2 days. After my section, Sijan will be detailing about the deadlines, because he's been moderating both the LMS as well as this section. So he'll be detailing about the deadline for submitting. So only 2 days you can submit this. For task 1, you can have there is no deadline here. Here 2 days, and after 2 days, you will be transported from submission phase to assessment phase. That is, you will be given with 2 or 3 papers which has been submitted by other participants. You have to evaluate it and resubmit it there. So you have to do 2 things. One, you have to submit that assignment task, and then you have to evaluate what the others have written. Not others means all the participants. We have got about 2,000 participants here for this section. So not all. You will be given with the 2 or 3 papers which is submitted by others related to your topic. So you can check out their point of view, their outcomes, and you can pass on your own remark. So that will be so after 2 or 3 days you will not be able to submit it. You will be transferred to the second section. So this is something very interesting. Probably you'll be familiar with this. So this is a activity which is available at LMS, so you can enjoy that also, how it works, so that you can accommodate it in your scenario. So going back, and now I'm registering my thank you. Okay, so that's fine. So now I'm giving the platform for putting your doubts, and I'm handing over to 𝐲𝐽n. Okay, 𝐲𝐽n will be moderating these that is your responses that need to be answered. Okay, 𝐲𝐽n, over to you. Are you?
Yeah. So thank you, Sunil sir, for that wonderful session. We will now see some questions that are posted in the chat. There are some questions being posted. Regarding taxonomy, if a question is there, are there two action verbs? How can we use Bloom's taxonomy?
Pardon, which is the question? I didn't get it.
So this is asked by Dr. Binu K. Regarding taxonomy, if in a question, if there are two action verbs, how can we use Bloom's taxonomy?
Okay, actually, the Bloom's taxonomy is an hierarchy which goes from base level to the higher level. So when if there are two verbs, definitely you can showcase the higher level verb, because you will be reaching at the higher level only by traversing the lower level. Only after traversing the remembering level, you go to the understanding level. From understanding level, you go to the application level. Then to the analytical level. So understanding and application, no need to write. You can write application, because after covering up the understanding, you will reach application. So you can showcase that, because this is hierarchy which has been added. Okay, 𝐲𝐽n, you can put, because
is there any difference in structure of COs in terms of disciplines or a generalized one?
is there any difference between
Structure of COs in terms of disciplines, or is it a generalized one?
No, the structure is a generalized one, and it is your autonomy. The teachers can write it appropriate to your subject, so that by reading that CO, it makes meaningful what the students are capable of doing. The structure is common, because everywhere that is what I've showcased in physics, commerce, etc. We'll be having the verb part will be showcased at first, and then the learning statement. So structure will go like that. And the thing is that it is the duty of the teachers to write it in a perfect way, so that by reading that outcome, the students as well as the stakeholders will be able to identify what they are capable of doing. So that's it.
There's one question. The grades are not visible on LMS. I've submitted day 2 task. Please note that the day 2 task, it's a self-evaluation, so there won't be any evaluation done from our part. Okay, so you have to evaluate it from yourself, or based on the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so I will have answered that.
Okay, so to add to 𝐲𝐽n, actually it is an exercise which has been given to the teachers, just to work with the question paper, and to work with the different questions, and also to identify which level that it belongs. So here you are the authority, right? So it is an experience which has been given to you. That's it.
So we are not evaluating it. Are PSOs required for each program?
Are PSOs
required for each program?
Definitely, if your college is having about 40 or 50 programs, definitely all the programs will be having a common general attribute, which we can call as PO. So PO will be common to the entire programs, and PSO will be specific to the programs that you are handling. If it is commerce, definitely the specific will be something related to commerce. If it is literature, related to literature, but POs will be common to the entire college. Okay.
For standalone business school, where only one program is there, MBA, is it required to have PSOs?
Actually, if there is only one program, definitely you can write. There is no need for segregation. Suppose if there are two programs and if you're sharing something, we are differentiating it as a common attribute and specific attribute. So you can showcase it together. But it is a good practice to showcase that this is something generic and this is program specific. If you're segregating it like that, it will be more effective, so that we can discriminate. These are something generic and these are program specific. The problem is that when we are trying to map the different activities with POs and PSOs, you can find a very rich collection will be there in program specific, because all the topics are related to your discipline. So program specific, these outcomes will be very densely mapped, but the POs will be generic, will be very feebly mapped. That is the common thing which we could see. So you will be confused why all are having the same weightage. Why this is not having that much of mapping? Because that is generic. The generic POs may not having that much of density mapping will be there when we go to mapping, while PSOs will be density. So it is a good practice to segregate that this is generic and this is specific, because the mapping strength will be very high when we go to PSOs. Okay, so it is a good practice. So only if there is only one set, we can write it as PO, because we know that what and this what I could say that engineering college is 12 POs are there. Actually, the first 5 are PSOs, that are program specific, and the others are generic. So they have written it commonly. There is no harm in writing it specifically, but for your understanding, it will be better to identify that why there is no much densities there in the mapping. You will be able to identify if you showcase it in that way. And nowadays, single program will not stand. You will be adding it, right?
Okay,
Okay.
now I think I will show that activity in the LMS. I will just share my screen so that you can see how that has to be done. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Sunil sir, could you please confirm?
Is the screen so visible?
Visible,
Screen
right?
is visible. Yeah, everything is
All right.
perfect.
Okay. Now, it's the activity is to be done on day 3. You have the SOP regarding this activity here, so you can read that also, and just to get an idea of what has to be done in this. Okay, it's pretty simple. Don't think that it's very complicated. What you need to do is just click this button. Okay, then you get the screen. Okay, uh, which says that you need to download the file which sir had said, where you will put in the details, right? So that you need to click this download of a file from here. Okay, you see this task to specify your outcomes.docx. Okay, you need to download that file and fill in the details. Okay, since sir has already showed that, I am not downloading it, because then it will take me to another screen. Okay, so just download that, fill in the details, come back to your initial screen. Once you are here, okay, once you have filled in all the details, once you've finished in filling in the details, just click on add submission and just put the details. Put let's say OBE and title to your file. If you want to give in some details, you can do that as well. And you pick the file where you have saved it. Okay, choose the file where you have saved that particular file. If this is a file, and click on open, and it will upload that file to the location. Okay, and just click save changes. Now this part of the activity is your submission phase. Okay, you have the submission phase till the 14th of May, that is Sunday night. Okay, after 14th, from Monday 15th, 16th, 17th, it will be the assessment phase. So then you can assess your peers submissions from that day onwards. Okay, so from this day, from 12th today till 14th, that is till Sunday, you have your submission. So make your submissions till the 14th, and after that it will go into the assessment phase, where you will assess the other people's submissions which they have made. Okay, that's all to this activity. And finally, the evaluation will grading evaluation will happen once you have done the assessment is done. So don't, in case you have missed it, if it has gone to the assessment phase, we will put another cycle for it as well, but make sure that you do it in the first cycle itself. Okay. Hope that is clear. Once you start doing it, it should be, and you also read that SOP, then it should be clear to you. Okay. It's only a matter of downloading that file, filling in the details, and re-uploading it as it is going to be your submission phase. That's all you have to do. If you have any more questions to Sunil sir, please ask in the chat box, and I will read it out to Sunil sir. Sunil sir, do you have anything from your side to add?
No, nothing more to add at this point of time.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So I think tomorrow we will be continuing with this.
Yeah.
We'll be going with the mapping architecture and quite a lot. So tomorrow we'll be just going into detail of how to transform this outcome into a PO, PSOs, etc. All these things will be discussed tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be enjoying it in that real sense, transforming a learning outcome into the other outcomes, and then mapping all these things. So anyhow, thank you for such a patient and a long time listening. And I think you can make the maximum use of your LMS if you have availed the LMS opportunity. And there is forum. You can put your queries there also. We can interact, we can collaborate, and we can make a maximum learning from these sections. So thank you. Enjoy that. Okay. So have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending this session. I think we will wind up for today. Please make sure that you join at 7 p.m. tomorrow also, and we will continue with this session from Dr. Sunil Jobsar. He will add on to the topics that he covered today. So make sure that you join tomorrow as well. And if you have any doubts related to the LMS, I will just put the details for that as well in the chat. Okay, so you can contact us for anything regarding the, to the LMS. And if you have any issues with doing any of the activities, the SOPs are there. Please make sure you read them as well. Okay, so then you will understand how to do it. It's not very complicated. Sir has explained to you, and also have shown it to you. So just read them properly, and then you will understand it. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for your time. I think we will end for today. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow at same time. Bye for now, and good night.